Hello, welcome to the News Agenda for Monday, August 23rd. It's a buttered corn day, or as we say in Illinois, Monday. So get the butter and work it into the corn's holes between each kernel and get ready for the news, because our top story is Afghanistan, where Republicans have only 18 more news cycles until the American people forget that Afghanistan exists. The Taliban took control over the country a little over a week ago, and the evacuation of Afghan refugees and American citizens has been, in a word, fucked. The Taliban are in control of the area surrounding Hamid Karzai International Airport, which is still under control by U.S. forces. In other news, how the hell did that guy get an airport named after him? Wasn't he corrupt as hell? Oh, my bad. He was on our side. But there are horrific images coming from the evacuation, like mothers throwing babies over barbed wire to UK troops so their children can have a better life, some people holding onto planes as they fly away and then falling to their deaths, and others hiding in the landing gear storage areas. This remains a humanitarian crisis that feels inevitable, doesn't it? No matter how we've done it would have been a shit show. But somehow this feels worse, like we can see it. We can see the hurt. But don't worry. Wait, what is it? Is that the sound of the memory hole? The memory hole? The memory hole? The memory hole? In a sentence that isn't funny in 2021, but also kind of sad, Proud Boys took over a closed K-Mart parking lot in Portland for a rally. Apparently they consider their comrades from the January 6th attacks political prisoners. True story. I don't have a joke, it's just a true story. Also in right-winger news, the Library of Congress was evacuated this week and a man surrendered to the police. He claimed to have a bomb in a pickup outside the Library of Congress. This all happened on Thursday. After hours of negotiations and evacuations of several government buildings in the area, it was discovered he never made the bomb. But when he asked how he was going to figure out how to make the bomb, the man pointed to the Library of Congress and said, "They got stuff in there." Such a shame. Such a shame. To look in a library to find a book on bomb making, what's wrong with the world? Doesn't he know what that's the internet is for? In game news, the creator of Sudoku, Maki Kanji, passed away at 69. The cause of his death was bile duct cancer, but some say his death just doesn't add up. In slightly less tragic news, mere days after being announced as the one to step into Alex Trebek's shoes, producer Michael Richards, no relation to Michael Richards, was ousted from the new role as comments from him resurfaced from years ago on a podcast. Are we sure it's not the same Michael Richards? So the search for the new Jeopardy host begins again, and with nearly everyone except people making the decision wanting LeVar Burton as the host, America prepares for yet more disappointment in fellow Americans. Also in disappointment news, sex workers on OnlyFans will have to find a new outlet because OnlyFans is going safe for work starting in October. Spokespersons for the company acknowledge that this is possibly a bad idea, but they really just want to get rich. Also in disappointment in the fellow American news, coronavirus. Alabama is out of ICU beds and case numbers are climbing out of control. And Governor DeSantis of Florida gave schools 48 hours to end mask mandates or they would lose funding. So much for local control of school districts, huh? But some school districts are skirting the news, with some reportedly changing their school's dress code to require masks rather than a separate mask mandate. And we should not be forced to rely on the letter of the law loopholes to do the basic things. It may seem quaint to some, but there is still reverence for so-called founding fathers out there, and while those people are, almost without exception, deeply terrible men, they had some points. Like, they're not only rights that one gets as a member of a community, but also responsibilities. And both change over time. There was a time when we did not have the knowledge that we may infect another person through our breath, and now we do. And in order to allow others to have their freedom to live, we need to take certain actions. It's not hard. It just makes sense. But instead, we live in a world that reminds me of the 1628 Swedish ship, the Vasa. Oh, you never heard of it? Well, let me fill you in. The Vasa was the world's most advanced warship when it set sail in 1628, and it sank 20 minutes after launch, killing 30 people and taking 64 bronze cannons to the bottom of the Stockholm harbor. It survived one gust of wind, but not the second, before it tipped and slid under the water. Why? Because the people in charge ignored experts. The seaworthiness and the stability of the vessel were sacrificed for the elegance and firepower of the ship. For example, it was designed to carry 36 guns, but 64 were loaded. There were also inconsistent standards used across the different manufacturers of the parts, with some people using an 11-inch foot and some people using a 12-inch because it was different countries and different cities and different times. And that's how the world was in the 1600s. We should go metric, is what I'm saying. And those that built the ship knew. They knew it would fail. But there was one thing that the Swedes did in this case that was perfect. They covered their ass. All drawings were approved by the king, Gustav II, because the man who ran the country thought he could make boats too. And so it is today. We have followers at the front calling the shots, not leaders. Populists who only have the trappings of power in their sights, but do not lack the humility to know where their skills end and where true power begins. My friend calls Ron DeSantis Ron Death Sentence, and I don't think that's too wrong. But what we do know is that he's signing off on the blueprints of a ship here. And he has no idea what's going to happen when the wind blows. And that was the news of Jen. I hope you liked it. I hope you subscribe because we're going to be off for 2 weeks. And that means you might miss my return if you're not subscribed. So please, and thank you to my subscribers and patrons who listed at the bottom of the video, or at the end of the video, I guess is technically what it is. Thank you so much. And please join them at patreon.com/genderbent, or subscribe at least. Please subscribe. I've been doing this for a year now, and it's so wonderful to see that subscriber number tick up very patiently, very slowly, very patiently. And please remember, I love you.